All right. Hello. The group stages of the FIFA World Cup 2026 are over and done with now. It's been a very encouraging performance from the African team, and I'm very happy to say I think this is the best performance they've had at the World Cup in a long time, if not ever. So out of the 10 teams that qualify for the World Cup from Africa, 9 teams went through to the next round. That's a huge rate. I think that's the best performance amongst every participating continent at this World Cup. That's impressive. Hats off to them. No, kudos to them. In light of that, I'll be taking the plunge now and be previewing the round of 32 matches. I'll be running through them really quickly now and make my predictions. I'll be sticking my neck out to say who I think will go through to the next round of the FIFA World Cup 2026 in USA, Mexico, and Canada. So off we go. The first match we'll be having is South Africa versus Canada. South Africa versus Canada. So I expect the home support to push on the Canadian team, and I expect them to have too much for South Africa. So Canada to go through from me. And Germany, Paraguay. They've shown themselves. They've turned up at this World Cup. They didn't start well, but they've put some performances together to get them through to the next round. But I expect the setback Germany faced against Ecuador to push them. And Germany, Paraguay, I expect Germany to go through. France, Sweden. No, so this is supposed to be a clash of two European giants, but France have been very impressive at this World Cup. France, Sweden, France should go through. Netherlands versus Morocco. This is a very tantalizing matchup. It's an interesting matchup, and really for me, it's a toss-up between the two. It's going to be a clash of the titans, a very tough match, but I expect Netherlands to go through, unfortunately, for Morocco. Portugal versus Croatia. Croatia is they are the type of team that tend to grow into the tournament. They don't win big, but they grind out wins when they want to. So, and also they have experience going deep into tournaments. They have experience going far into tournaments. For me, I expect Croatia to go through on penalties. Spain, Austria. Austria, I've seen a number of their matches. Out of the 3 matches, I think I saw 2 of them and some of the last match, and I expect Spain to have too much for Austria to handle, really. So Spain to go through. USA versus Bosnia. I expect USA to be bolstered by the home support. I've seen a number of their games as well. They are very athletic, very fit, combined with the tactically astute coach they have in Mauricio Pochettino of the Tottenham, PSG, and Chelsea fame. I expect them to have too much firepower for Bosnia. Bosnia has done well to come this far, but I think going off to the round of 16 would be a step too far for them. USA, Bosnia, USA to go through. Then we come down to Belgium, Senegal. Belgium haven't really shown up at this World Cup. Yes, they had a big win in their last match, but they also tend to give up chances at the back. Against Egypt, Egypt should have finished off the match before the equalizing goal from Belgium. And also in their other matches, Belgium, I realized that they give up chances. So against Senegal also have they've had issues, but they've come up against the might of France and Norway at this World Cup. However, putting these two together, Belgium, Senegal, I tip Senegal to go through to the round of 16. Brazil, Japan. There are quite a lot of interesting matchups in this round of 32, and this is yet another one between the powerhouse of South America, Brazil, and then the established force of Asia and Japan. It's a tough one. But if I had to put a team forward, which I think I have to, obviously, that's why we're here, I tip Brazil to go through. Brazil will go through. Yeah. Ivory Coast, Norway. This is another tough matchup for African country. Ivory Coast against Norway. Norway rested quite a number of their first teamers in their last match against France, hence the huge defeat. But with the stars coming back, the likes of Alexander Soloff, Erling Braut Haaland, Martin Odegaard, I expect them to have too much for the Senegalese defense, which has been quite shaky throughout this tournament. I expect Norway to have too much for them to handle. Norway to go through. Mexico versus Ecuador, yet another host riding on the wave of their home support to face another team that has been quite inconsistent. Ecuador did it when they had to against Germany, coming from behind to beat the 2014 champions 2-1. And yeah, it rallied the team, and they were riding on the crest of that wave. However, Mexico have been solid throughout the tournament, and I expect them to go through. Mexico, Ecuador, Mexico to go through. England versus DR Congo is the next matchup. Now, DR Congo have been improving steadily throughout the tournament, while England had a reality check against Ghana before they got back on track with a 2-0 win. And this is going to be a very difficult match for Congo because England has tried to right the wrongs they made in the group stages. They've been putting one or two things together. Rhys James is out with an hamstring injury, and Jarek Kwanzaa that covered up for him is also out with an injury. So they might have a problem position in the right back, but I don't think that should hinder them. They should have too much for Congo. England to go through. Argentina versus Cape Verde. Cape Verde has had a fairy tale World Cup, really. I give it to them. In their first appearance at the World Cup, they are through to the next round. However, facing the might, the power of Argentina, I strongly believe Argentina would steamroll Cape Verde. Cape Verde, not to dismiss them. Of course, they have speed on the counter attack, and they have verve, they have flair, but Argentina has the know-how, and I tip Argentina to go through. Australia versus Egypt. Australia versus Egypt is an interesting matchup because while Egypt, they are quite solid at the back and have enough enough in their attack to bother anything, to disturb anything. Australia is also a well-drilled, a well-coached team as well. However, I expect Egypt tend to be better than the sum of their individual parts, and I expect that to show up again. Australia, Egypt to go through. Switzerland versus Algeria. Switzerland, and there are no newcomers to the World Cup. They are established at this level. Algeria had a false start against Argentina, losing 3-0 in the first match, but they've been improving steadily to get to this stage. Had a draw and a win after the loss against Argentina. And would that be enough against the might of Switzerland? Maybe not. Switzerland tend to know how to grind out results, and I expect Switzerland to go through. Switzerland, Algeria, Switzerland all the way. Colombia versus Ghana. Ghana has shown that they can be defensively solid when they need it, and they've shown that they can also grind out results when necessary. However, against the established tactical nous of Colombia, the know-how, Colombia, Ghana, I expect Colombia to go through. So there you have it. That's my prediction for the round of 32. Let's see how many I get right, and how many of these nations move on to the round of 16. So do you have any contrary thoughts? Do you agree with these predictions? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is the Football Jury. I will catch you in the next one. Cheers.